Hi there, welcome to week 5, day 2 of our Build Balance Momentum program. Today we're gonna twist things up with our posture of the day, which is eagle pose. So we're gonna get started right on our mats today. We're just gonna jump right on in. And so we're gonna get started in Thunderbolt posture, which is this kneeling posture here. And you can rest your hands either palms up or palms down, whichever is most comfy for you, on your legs. Feel free to put a block under your butt if you need a little bolster, if it's just too uncomfortable to sit on your legs, or a blanket would work as well. And we're just gonna close our eyes and connect with our breath before we begin today's practice. We're going to be opening up the hips, getting that nice internal rotation of the hips in today's class, and same with the shoulders. So let's just connect ourselves with our breath for a moment. Embrace the silence that is our yoga practice. And think about keeping your spine long here. At this time, I welcome you to open your eyes and join me in a few kneeling cat-cow postures. So you can kind of grip your knees for a little extra support. Inhale, pull your chest through your biceps, opening up those shoulders, or I should say squeezing the shoulder blades here, opening up the chest. Exhale, almost push your knees away from you, rounding out the upper spine and tucking your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, pull that chest forward, gaze high. Exhale, rounding out the upper back. Inhale. Exhale. This time I want you to kind of cactus your arms up on your inhale. Inhale, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Exhale, bring your elbows together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. On your exhale, I want you to bring your left arm in front of you, cross your right arm over it, bend your left elbow, bring your right arm up and interlace your fingers, pulling those elbows up towards shoulder height. Instead of rounding out the back, we're going to keep our spine nice and long. This is what arms we will be using in eagle posture. We can release, inhale, exhale. This time drop your right arm, cross over it with the left, bend your right elbow, bend your left elbow, bringing it over and bringing your palms together, lifting those elbows up to shoulder level. Deep breath here. Release. Inhale. And exhale it down. At this time, I welcome you to kind of drop your butt to the mat, bringing that left foot over to the right hip, crossing that right leg over on top of the left leg, so your knees line up in front of you, and you're not sitting on your heels at all. Your feet are on the outside of your hips, and you may feel a little tug through your right hip muscle here. We're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, drop that left hand to the mat, bending that elbow as you reach your right arm over. And we want to think about keeping our sit bones on the mat here. Maybe even gently rock your neck side to side like you're shaking your head no. Just warming up the neck. Let's rise up to standing. And inhale your left arm up, bending your right arm. Keeping those sit bones on the mat and bending over to the right side. You might feel it again in your hip. Feel free to rock your neck back and forth again. You might feel a little bit, but let's inhale back up now. You'll really feel it as we exhale forward. So slowly walk your fingertips forward, bringing your chest towards your right knee. Feel it through the outer edge of your right hip. Keeping that spine long. Gaze in front of you. Exhale and sink deeper into the stretch. Allowing yourself to release into this. Good, rise back up to standing. We're gonna uncross our right leg and put it towards the outside of the mat, or the front of the mat, I should say. We are going to press our left hand out into the mat about, 5 inches outside of our hip. We're gonna push into that as we rise up onto our left knee. So we're lifting our butt and rising up, pressing the shin of the leg into the mat. So inhale, rise up, pushing your pelvis and hips forward, bringing that right arm up and around, swooping it over the body. Exhale, drop your butt down to the mat as you bring your right arm over towards the inner side of your left foot. Cross that left arm over and see if you can grasp your left or your right foot with it. You can drop your knee, your head towards your knee. If this is just like out of the ballpark, you can simply stretch it over like this. Feel that nice stretch through the side body here. Again, this is just if you wanted a little stretch, or you can also forward fold this way, or forward fold like this, whatever is most comfortable for you. So you're gonna place that left hand back on the mat, swoop it up and over, pushing the pelvis, squeezing the butt, really engaging the abs even, and then drop the butt. Let's bend over and grasp that foot again. Inhale, rise up, placing that foot or that hand on the mat, swooping your hips up and over. Dropping it back down and we'll release. This time coming back to our beginning posture. This time placing our right knee down and crossing our left knee over it. Place that right hand on the mat. Inhale the left arm up and over the body, bending, putting a nice generous bend in that right elbow, crossing it over so you can feel it in the outside of the right or of the left hip. And release back to center. This time placing that left arm down, inhaling that right arm up and over. Keeping those sit bones on the mat, so not like leaning too far where you're lifting your hip off the mat. Keeping them both on the mat. Again, you can do some neck rolls if you'd like to. Or you can just breathe into the posture. Inhale, rise up to center. And let's walk our hands forward. Ooh, yeah. These are some of my favorite stretches right here. Feeling that. I like to tent my fingertips, keeping my spine long, release my chest towards my knees. And your exhale. And your next exhale, release even deeper. And rise back up, releasing that left knee, bringing it over to the back of the mat, placing your right palm down on the mat a few inches out from your right hip. Inhale, you know what's coming. Inhale, rise up onto that shin, pushing your pelvis and hips forward into space as you swoop your left arm up and over. And exhale, drop your butt slowly back down. Bring your right arm towards the left leg. Bring your left arm, bring your right arm over the body. See if you can open up your chest, grabbing that foot. Again, you can simply rest like this or rest like this if that's too much for you. Otherwise, think about you. I sometimes use my left arm to kind of open up my elbow so I can peek. I can peek and see you. Good, and release, dropping the right arm down. Inhaling, rise up onto your shin, pushing those hips forward. Deep inhale. Exhale, swoop back down. Crossing the right arm over the body to the foot. Release. Bring that right arm down. Swoop up, pushing the hips up and over. Exhale. Release back down, crossing that arm over the body. And again, you can also be doing this. Whatever is most comfortable for you. And release back to center. We're going to come up into a tabletop posture. Tuck our toes under. And we're just going to send it right back into downward facing dog. So lift those knees, send those hips back. And then let's just take a couple deep breaths in our downward facing dog. Feeling free to bend those knees if you need to. We're going to ground through that left foot as we inhale our right foot up, keeping those hips square to the mat. And we're going to exhale and come up into a lunge posture. Only for a moment, we're going to put our weight into that right foot, kind of rock back and forth until we can pop up that left foot. Sink our chest towards our right leg. See if you can pull that left leg like a lever up towards the ceiling into a standing split. Doesn't need to be like a real split. You don't need to be opening up your hips. It can look like here, like here, like here. Wherever you're flexible enough to achieve, that is perfect. Releasing your chest towards your knee if you can. Generous micro bend in that front leg. You can even take your right hand and pull up on your calf muscle. Good, release your hands to the mat. Drop that left leg right next to your right. Feel free to grab some blocks if you would like. Ground through that right foot. Inhale that left foot up to 90 degrees parallel to the mat. Open up through the chest. And we are coming into that supported warrior 3 we just learned last week. Breathe through the posture. Good, and we're gonna bend this knee, rise up, dropping that leg down. Gonna inhale, come up into a chair posture. So sit those hips back. If you need to drop your arms because your shoulders are just a little tight, you can bring them forward. Think about sitting the booty back, sinking into the posture. So you can bring your arms up or forward. Then we're going to release up to standing. Ground through that right foot once again. Inhale that left foot up. Put your ankle of the left foot onto your right knee and sink back into chair pose again. Three, two, one. See if you can release that left leg and cross it over, tucking your foot in between like it's an anaconda, squeezing your leg. And now we're going to practice what we learned with our arms. So right arm down, left arm crosses, right arm bends, left arm bends, bring the palms together and lift those elbows up to shoulder level. And ladies and gentlemen, we have eagle posture. Breathe here a moment. Strong, everything's engaged. Let's slowly release the arms now. Slowly release the legs. And rise up to mountain pose. Deep inhale, arms rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe you do a little ragdoll here. So clasping your elbows with your hands and gently rocking back and forth. Feeling that nice hamstring stretch as we do this. Good, we're gonna release our hands to the mat, and you can either lunge back or jump back, landing in chaturanga. So if you wanted to try it, jump back, you inhale up onto your hands, or like the weight onto your hands so you can hop your legs back. And we try to land in chaturanga, but if that's too much for you, you can also land in high plank. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So if you'd like, I welcome you to try it with me now. Otherwise, you can simply lunge back into high plank. So inhale. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat as you bend those knees and jump back. See how I use my blocks to get the positioning of chaturanga? Push back up into high plank, and then let's send it back into downward facing dog. Good. Nice couple deep breaths in downward facing dog. We're going to ground through our right foot now as we inhale our left foot up and back into three-legged dog, keeping those hips square. Inhale. Exhale, let's bend that knee and walk it in between the hands. Staying here only a moment. We're going to start rocking. Rocking on that leg till we have enough momentum to hop up that right back leg and come into a standing split. Once again, keeping those hips square, not opening them up nice and square. Pulling your chest towards your knee, keeping a micro bend in that front leg. Maybe you take your left hand and clasp it along the left calf, pulling up that calf, allowing you to pull yourself closer towards your foot. Intro to inversions this week as well. And release, dropping that right foot next to your left. Using your blocks, you're going to once again ground through that left leg as we inhale our right foot up, lengthening the spine into a supported warrior 3. Think of activating that booty, pulling that heel towards the ceiling. Release that leg now, dropping it to the mat as we rise up to standing. Deep inhale. Exhale, send it back into chair pose. Again, not leading with the knees, we're leading with the hips. Hips back like we're about to sit in a chair. Rise up to mountain pose. This time grounding through that left leg as you bring your right leg up, dropping that ankle onto the upper part of the left knee, sending those hips back, keeping that foot flexed so your toes are towards your shins, and sending it back into chair pose. Breathe. You can kind of come up just a bit so you have enough balance to fully cross that leg over, wrapping your foot around the left leg. Let's bring our left arm down, our right arm down, bend that left elbow, bend that right elbow, and bring our palms together, pulling those elbows up to shoulder height. Breathing, sinking those sit bones even further back, getting a little closer to the ground. Breathe through this posture. And slowly unravel your hands, unravel your legs, and rise up into mountain pose. Move your blocks out of the way at this time if you need to. Deep breath. You're going to come into a wide-legged stance now. So arms under hips. We're going to bend those knees. Let's bring our feet out so they're pointing towards the edge of the mat. So our heels are in. Our toes are pointed out. Let's bend at the hips now. Not hinging, but bending those knees. Sorry, yeah, not bending at the hips, bending the knees. Let's bring our hands towards our knees. Let's just drop our right shoulder to the mat. Not fully to the mat, but like it's going to the mat. Bringing our gaze over the left side body. Inhale back up, this time dropping your left shoulder. Gaze over the right side. Inhale, switch it. Right shoulder down. Inhale, exhale, left shoulder down. This time we're going to straighten out those knees as we drop our right hand to the mat and rise up with our left hand, gaze following. And we'll do a switch, so bringing that left arm down, or right arm up and over. We're going to do some quick switches here, so inhale, exhale, and just switch back and forth with your own breath. Gaze high with each one. You'll feel a stretch through your hamstrings. We're still trying to keep the spine nice and long with these. Last one. Keep your hands where they are. Walk your legs in just a bit. Bring your right arm to join the left. Bend those knees as you bring our arms up into a low yogic squat. Feel free to bring your feet in as you need to. And also feel free to put some blocks under your heels in this posture or under your butt if that's more comfortable for you. I'm just going to use our elbows to widen out our knees. Lengthen the spine. Palms in prayer. Just breathe through the posture. Now let's drop our butt to the mat. Bring our legs out wide. As wide as you can. See if you can just walk your hands forward to rest your forearms on the mat. If you can't do this without like hunching your back, you can grab your block and put it in front of you like this. The whole point is just to get a nice stretch through our groin area, through our hips and our hamstrings. Deep inhale and exhale. Release into a stretch. I like to keep my feet flexed in this position, so pulling those toes towards your shins. You can even like sway side to side. So you can kind of feel the different areas that are getting the nice stretch. Just gently, nothing too ferocious. Half of the fun of yoga is moving intuitively. So if you feel like swaying, you feel like rolling out your neck or doing arm circles, just roll with it, man. You don't have to follow me word for word. The whole point with yoga is doing what feels good to you and your body, so never feel like you have to strictly follow any of these flows. You can kind of play with them. You can add in a stretch, add in a rise up, whatever is most comfortable and most fun for you. If your body's craving a certain movement, as long as it's a safe movement for your joints and everything, then feel free to follow it. Release back up now. Bring your feet together, base of your feet together. We're going to come into butterfly. So pull your chest through your arms, allowing your knees to sink in towards the mat. Your feet can be close to the body if you're super flexible. If you're not so flexible, they can be out forward. Whatever works for you. And I know I say that a lot, but it's because it's the truth. Everybody's body's different, so everyone's at different levels in their practice. See if you can sink forward, keeping the spine long, just pulling your chest towards your feet. Feel the stretch get deeper in your groin. hold your knees. I'm going to slowly just rock back onto our mats. We're going to release our left leg as we inhale that right knee over to the left side. Bringing that arm out wide, following it with your gaze, keeping that right shoulder on the mat. Getting that nice spinal stretch. And releasing back to normal, switching sides, so pulling that right arm or right leg out. Crossing that left knee over to the right as we extend our left arm out, gaze following the right or the left fingertips. Left shoulder on the mat. And releasing back to center, extending out that left leg, and we'll come into Shavasana. So get comfortable. Grab a towel under your back or under your knees if you feel the need to. Just reconnect with your breath. Our intention is to be mindful of our breath when we are in Shavasana. So if you find that you start thinking about tasks that need to get done that day, or worries or anxiety, just gently acknowledge those thoughts when they creep in, and then try to return your attention towards your breath. Just imagining the air inhaling through your nasal passages and swelling and expanding in your lungs.